Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ahkam SOS, the show that discusses Islamic duties and practices. MashaAllah, over the last couple of days, we've been discussing different topics in regards to Ramadan and fasting. We had a look at making intentions. We had a look at fasting during the Corona time, this pandemic. Also, we looked at traveling, and also we looked a little bit on the kafara and also what invalidates the fast. Inshallah, we're going to discuss more on traveling and also other questions that you have. If you have a question that you'd like to discuss with us, that you'd like to ask, please do not hesitate to contact us via the WhatsApp or the email address. We don't need to know your name or where you're calling from. No question is silly or taboo, or you feel that we won't be able to research and find your answers. It is our duty, myself and the Sheikh, to go research and find these answers for yourself. So inshallah, if you have a question, please send them in. Or alternatively, you can call us live. The number should be there at the bottom. You can call us live and we're more than happy to discuss your question, inshallah. I'm your host, Mohsin Shah, and joining me is Sheikh Alima. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
How are you this evening?
Alhamdulillah, bikhair.
MashaAllah, it's the 5th of Ramadan now. We're trying to, our routines are set now. We're getting used to it. How's your fast going?
All fine, alhamdulillah, barakat. Allah Azza wa Jal.
Sheikh, yesterday we discussed a little bit on traveling. We discussed about, people leaving for work in the morning and coming back and so forth. Let's continue this discussion. And what I wanted to ask you was, during the month of Ramadan, I've kept a fast. I woke up at Fajr, I had my suhoor, I had the niyyah, went to prayed Fajr, went to sleep. I'm up now, 9 o'clock, and I have to travel for work. And I arrive at my destination afternoon. Okay, so after the time of Dhuhr, I have arrived at my destination. Can I continue my fast, and is this fast valid or not?
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. The one who travels and reaches his hometown or destination in which he's going to reside and stay there for at least 10 days. But he would arrive afternoon, so not in the morning. So he arrives late afternoon. Let's say he arrives at 3 or 4 p.m. His flight just landed at 3, 4 p.m. in the afternoon in the month of Ramadan. Then this individual must not fast anymore. And instead he should offer qada for this day.
I see.
Yes, even if he hasn't ate anything or drank anything, he must not fast on this day, because he passed that limit of the boundary, which is the zawal or the noon time.
So, Sheikh, let's make this clear. I'm gonna nitpick a little bit here. This person shouldn't fast, as in he shouldn't wake up and do the suhoor, or should he do the suhoor and everything, and then once he gets on the plane and he's traveled a little bit, he can break his fast? How should it be done?
Well, if he's musafir from the beginning, he was in a trip for a holiday or ziyarah and so forth, he shouldn't be fasting at all from the beginning. Okay. He's a musafir. Mm-hmm. But what he wants to do, I think that the scenario is that he wants to come home on that day and resume the fasting on the same day. He doesn't want to lose that day, so he wants to keep that day as fasting.
I see.
So if he arrives in the afternoon and it's too late, so he should basically not fast on that day.
So do your travels and get back home before the Dhuhr Adhan. That will allow you to continue your fast, and you don't have to do a kafara or qadha or anything like that. But
that depends, of course, if he was residing in that location for 10 days.
I see.
So he keeps his fast and he travels with the niyyah of fasting. Mm-hmm. And when he arrives in the morning, then he keeps his fast running. So it depends really how the journey works, how his intention is in terms of the journey.
Shana, what if this person, he doesn't know about the timing, whether it was noon or not? So for example, if prior to traveling and he didn't investigate what time he's left and what time he's arriving, and then what's the ruling in this case? So he didn't calculate properly that I'm going to leave and I'm going to arrive at this time. How does one deal with that situation?
Well, he or she should refrain from breaking their fast.
Okay.
Because they don't know exactly when they left. their hometown or location in which they stayed there for, let's say, at least 10 days. In the other side, they should do the qada for that day as well. So it's either way, the one should basically take the precaution and ihtiyat of not breaking the fast and also doing the qada. And the best thing let me just give this short advice to the brothers and sisters who travel often, is that make sure that you plan for the travel, not only in the aspects of the seats, where do I sit, in the aisle or the window, or the type of the food or the meal provided in the trip, for example, the hotel, the taxi, and so forth. Try to also plan according to the ibadat as well, time. So the salah time, I try to in somehow manage it, that when I reach destination I can pray. No, if not, I pray in the airplane. It's wajib. Even it's embarrassing, you have to basically do this wajib wherever you can, and either in the plane or outside the plane. It's wajib. You should ignore people's mocking and so forth. Also, the one should plan his journey in terms of the fasting, so they can actually know exactly when to leave. Is it before or after the noon time?
Ahsan. Sheikh, you mentioned planes, and you mentioned flying as well. What is the rule for an individual who, kept a fast, and let's say he's leaving 4 o'clock? So let's say in these days, our iftar and maghrib time is roughly 8:30 ish. Okay, so this person, his flight is at 4 o'clock. So he's kept his full fast. He goes to the airport, goes onto the plane. It's 4 o'clock now. Now the direction the plane is going in is towards the sun. So it's probably going towards the west, where time is behind us, so there's more daylight. Does this person open his fast at, let's say, London 8:30, where his iftar time is, or should he wait until he arrives at his destination and open his fast at the time of Maghrib at his destination?
Well, he should go by the horizon of the country in which he's flying to. So if he's going from London to Canada, he needs to break the fast when let's say, the time of Canada. And sometimes he needs to break his fast when he's, let's say, on his way, because he can easily see the sunset and the darkness. Then he can break his fast on the way, the journey.
Okay. So if you're going eastbound, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, it depends really. What is important, that when you want to break your fast or pray Maghrib, you must make sure that in that spot and location, there's a Maghrib Shar'i, official Maghrib Shar'i has been achieved and established, so you can break your fast and also pray. So it depends really. You can't just time it for with regards to the place that you left, your country in which you left from.
So thank you for clearing up. And advice that I would give is actually try and leave, flying wise, leave before Dhuhr Adhan or leave after Maghrib Adhan. Otherwise, you're going to be in quite a pickle. Sheikhna, the next question is in regards to Janaba, and we've discussed Ghusl and Janaba before a couple of days ago. But if one person knows that I cannot perform Ghusl until Fajr Adhan, and he purposely becomes najis, in terms of he becomes junub, what is the hukm here according to His Eminence the Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Hakim? What should this individual do? Is it haram for him to become in the state of junub? Not saying that he became junub in a haram way. Let's say maybe he went to his wife or something like that, or vice versa. But should he have refrained from becoming in the state of junub because he knows that he's going to enter Fajr in the state of janaba? There's not going to be much time for him to purify himself, according to Sayyid Hakim.
Yes, he would say that the fast is not valid in the case mentioned. because one of the muftarat or mubtalat of the Sawm is to remain in the state of janaba till the Fajr. It will actually invalid the act of fasting itself. So the one should make sure that they wash the ghusl wajib of janaba before the Fajr. And if the time was too short for the ghusl, because ghusl takes time, at least, I don't know, 5, 7, 8 minutes, if you want to do it very quick. But if it was too short, the time's too short, only 3 minutes to Fajr, then the one can do tayammum instead of ghusl to save themselves from, entering the month of, or the day of fasting with impurity.
So, Shaykhna, what if someone did the ghusl, but later on discovered that actually my ghusl wasn't proper? Maybe I forgot to do a certain part of the body, or maybe there was paint or something on my hands or my arms, which is waterproof, and the water couldn't actually touch the body or so forth. So the person did do ghusl at the right time, but later on discovered the ghusl was invalid. According to His Eminence, the Grand Ayatollah Sheikh Wahid Khurasani, Hafadullah, what is the hukam here?
Well, he would mention that according to the question given, his fast will not be invalidated. So his fast will be still valid and sahih.
Okay, mashallah. Shaykhna, traveling is very, very common in society, and also traveling within our own city. And mashallah, some cities are very, very big. I come from in Pakistan. Karachi is one of the biggest cities, or is the biggest city in the country. Also, Tehran, very, very big. London as well. So when we talk about traveling, and you and I know that you have to travel, 13 miles, I believe it is, in one direction, for your fast to become invalid, with other conditions as well, or for your salah to become qasr. Some of these cities are so big, it's 20, 30 miles from one side to the other. We were discussing even before the show that from Watford to Chesington, which is in Surrey, just outside of London, 60 miles or so. So traveling within a city from one side to the other, if that breaks the traveling condition and qualifies you to pray qasr or so forth, does that also apply to when you're within the same city and traveling within the same city?
These are considered as to be large cities, and even if you travel, let's say, over 60, 70 miles in the same city, you're still inside a city in which is part of where you're living now. So it's your hometown, even if you're actually traveling such a long distance. So they're all considered as one city, especially you have the houses, the shops, offices, all connected to each other. The streets, all connected. So no, they're all considered to be as just one city. The salah will be as normal, not short, full, and the fast will be as it is. One should also keep his fast.
Excellent. Shaykhna, got a question from the email. I am sent by my company during the month of Ramadan to other cities, some 1,000 kilometers away, for 4 days for the purpose of work, and it is not permanent. Do I offer full or short prayers? And do I need to fast or not? And is there a difference concerning this case between the maraja?
In this case, you must shorten your prayers and salah, and you must not fast. So your hukum is a traveler, musafir. If somebody who is in trouble, they shouldn't fast, and they have to shorten their salah qasr. And there's no difference between the maraja with this regard. I mean, it's just a 4 days trip. Ulama, some of them say that you have to at least travel for work, for example, or study 10 days a month to consider to be as musafir, frequent musafir or frequent traveler. So at least 10 days a month, so it can be actually a frequent traveler in which you can pray the full salah and fast those days. without breaking them.
Ahsantum. Sheikh, now a question from the WhatsApp, and the question is, I work in the field of producing TV programs for a Shia Islamic channel where we film and then broadcast these programs on satellite channels. Is it permissible for me to forgive and turn a blind eye to the scenes filming of some hijabi women who were filmed with parts of their wrist or hands or part of their hairline above the forehead or part of their skin under the chin appearing? Is it permissible for me to broadcast these clips, or must cover or remove them, knowing that there is a difficulty in technical dealing with these issues, and this increases the financial cost and time wasted for such amendments? So what is the ruling on that? I hope that was one of our producers that asked that question. But yes, Sheikhna, TV producer working for a Shia TV station. As you are aware, we do have hijab policies at our different stations. Can we be lenient, or what is the hukm shar'i that we must do in regards to hijab policies that we have here at TV channels?
Well, covering or removing these parts, as mentioned in the question, is inevitable and is a must. The one must cover these parts in which became visible due to, ala kulli hal, not planning ahead, maybe by some of those who work in this field in terms of the camera, in terms of filming, that they should basically, before they fall into such a shari'i problems, to plan ahead and make sure that the guest is wearing proper shari'i hijab and full hijab. And of course, there should be a lady who would take care of this and to check on those female guests who come and offer programs. So best is to avoid that from the beginning and to have the hijab policy implemented before filming.
Ahsant. Just a quick reminder to our viewers that this is a live show and that we do take in your questions. If you have a question you'd like to send in, please send it into the WhatsApp or the email address, or alternatively you could give us a call, and inshallah we would love to discuss and answer your question. Sheikhna, what is to be done if a person forgot about traveling or forgot that he was fasting and traveling? So maybe he was unaware, or he wasn't, he forgot that, I'm supposed to break my fast when I travel, or I'm fasting, I shouldn't be traveling, or vice versa. Is that person's fast still valid, or does he have to, do a qada?
The hukum and the rule for someone who travels and he becomes a traveler in terms of hukum al-musafir, who must shorten his salah, he must not also fast. He must not refrain from the eat and drink. So no, of course, his fast will be invalid and not accepted. And the hukum of the travel is to break your fast and shorten your salah. So in this case, he fasts, let's say 1 or 2 days in his journey, then no, it's not accepted. And of course, he needs to do the qada as well.
Ahsant. Sheikhna, if a person has reverted to Islam, so this person wasn't Muslim before, now he's accepted Islam, does that person have to make up for the qada Ramadan fasting that they haven't done? Because there must have been, a couple of years, whether whether it was in their teenage years or whether later on in life that they converted, there's a good chunk of years which, they haven't been fasting. Do they have to do qada of these fasts?
Those who were not Muslims originally, and they convert to Islam, of course, we have a basis in the fiqh that those who were not Muslims and they become Muslims, then they don't need to actually do any qada of their salah or siyam. But they have to start from that day to start to do the salah and siyam and so forth. So there's no qada for the reverts, there's no siyam for the qada of the siyam or even for the salah. However, if somebody apostates, a Muslim becomes non-believer, yes, and then he comes back to Islam, he regrets and he comes back. This individual needs to do the qada. Yeah.
Interesting. So one who deviated and returned, the period he deviated for has to do the qada.
Exactly.
Very interesting. MashaAllah. Shaykhna, when offering qada fasts, is it permissible for one to open their fast before noon?
If somebody wants to basically offer the qada fast, you have the chance before the noon, before Adhan al-Dhuhr. But after the Adhan al-Dhuhr, no, there's no, for the qada, you can't basically break it after the noon. So you have the chance until before the noon time.
So what does this mean, as in that you can break your fast and then that's it, the qada has been repaid? Or is it, okay, maybe this day wasn't right for you to fast and you can do qada another day or so?
No, you have to make it up later.
I see.
It's just that they're given the permission for somebody who just decided not to fast that day, for example, for any reason. Let's say he got a call, invited for a lunch with his friends, for example. So he breaks his qada fast in the morning, and then he can make it up later again. Later days, yeah.
Okay, so it's a bit of just flexibility there from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Exactly, yeah.
MashaAllah, the mercy of Allah. Shaykhna, my final question for you. What is the ruling for a person who delayed the qada of the fasting of the month of Ramadan for many years? So I'm aware that normally when you have a qada fast, you should, I think it's a mandatory actually, to repay that qada before the next Ramadan. So you have like 1 year. So someone who has missed qada for years, what is the hukum for this person?
Yes, it becomes mandatory and wajib for this individual to pay fidya for each day he missed, that he didn't do the qada. Yeah, each day. So
for each
the best
day.
thing is the best thing to actually do the qada on time to avoid such penalties. In other words, so it's the best thing, the one who has qada, even salah, even other ahkam regarding the qada, to make sure to fulfill, because we don't know when we're gonna pass away. At any time, if somebody, especially with this COVID-19 and the issue of pandemic, we don't know when we're gonna pass this world and depart. So the best thing is to do our qada, and so we, inshallah, rest in peace, as they say, rest in peace when we pass this world.
Inshallah. Thank you very much, Shaykhna. And inshallah, it'd be nice if we can continue this discussion in regards to, fidya for every day. I'm really intrigued. I want to know how much you have to pay if you missed it for a year or so. Inshallah, we'll have more discussions at another time in regards to this topic. Thank you for all the viewers for joining us. Inshallah, you're enjoying your fast as well and getting, the rewards. Please remember us in your du'as and join us tomorrow as we have another live show at 6:30 here on Imam Hussein TV. Please send in your questions, any questions on any topic, and inshallah, me and the Sheikh will do our best to answer those questions. And look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
Happens when we die? How can we ensure that we're victorious at death? Do we desire death? How many of us have contemplated our own deaths? With the recent rise in deaths, you find that there is more reflection on death than ever before. And that precisely is the reason I've chosen death, the Day of Judgment, as my topic for this holy month of Ramadan. Join me, Sayyid Ahmad every night on Imam Hussein TV, where we examine this topic of the utmost importance in our lives.